Are you a business owner stuck in fear, doubt, and worry about what the marketplace will look like in the future? Then this show is for you. Strap on your seatbelt and get ready to disrupt and innovate. Here's your host, Lisa Levy.
Welcome to Disrupt and Innovate. Today's guest is Dappz, the mastermind behind Dappz Sports, a trailblazer in the trading card industry. Amid the resurgence of trading cards, Dappz Sports stands out as a premier LA-based media company with the largest social media following in the hobby, reflecting a deep-rooted passion for sports memorabilia and card collecting. Dappz's journey began in his youth, influenced by his grandfather's role with the New York Jets and the Pokemon craze. This childhood interest rekindled into a lucrative venture as an adult, leading to the birth of Dappz Sports. The company isn't just about trading cards. It's a 24/7 live stream shopping experience that transparently documents the ups and the downs of card flipping, resonating with a global audience. The impact of Dappz Sports extends beyond just reporting on the market. It's become a trendsetter, influencing the market and elevating trading cards to new heights. The influence was most notably seen in the Star Wars card market, where a single purchase led to significant increases in the value of related boxes. In this episode, we'll explore the evolution of trading cards, Dappz's vision for expanding his brand, and the future of live stream shopping. Dappz, welcome to the conversation.
Happy to be here, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me.
It is such my pleasure to have you here with me today. I can do that whole big formal read-in, and it's all well and good, but really the audience loves to hear your story from you. Will you tell us about your journey and how you got to the place where you are with Dappz Sports today?
Absolutely. I'd love to, starting with part of the intro you gave for me. My grandfather worked for the New York Jets, so I grew up just a huge fan of football, a huge fan of sports in general. All I wanted to do as a kid was play sports. And fast forward to 2019, I had just started a business. It was doing pretty well, but it was kind of on autopilot, and I was looking for something to do on the side, and sports cards kind of got on my radar. I was watching Gary Vee a lot. Gary Vee is in the business and entrepreneurial space, and he's telling everybody, he's telling his audience, sports cards are coming back in a big way. So now I'm putting my 20, 30, 40, 50 hours of research into sports cards, and I start to buy some, and 6 months later, a year later, these cards are going up in price. And now I start to sell them, and now I'm making a couple bucks, right? And I'm happy, and I'm excited, and I start shooting YouTube videos in my bedroom, just explaining my journey. Hey, I bought this card for $100. I just sold it for 200. I bought this card for $300. I just sold it for 1,000. So that was regularly happening for, close to 2 years. And then some of my friends questioned me, and they said, is this really sustainable, Matt? Are you just going to buy cards and sell them for more money for the rest of your life? And that really put it in perspective. I thought, wow, I don't know how long this is going to last. And I saw somebody on Instagram live streaming one night, and I did some math, and I said, I think this guy just brought in $20,000 tonight, right? Ripping open sports cards.
That's mind-blowing, right? And that doesn't even touch what you're actually doing today.
Correct. And I was happy, thinking I'd be really, really, really impressed if I could do $100 in profit a night from my bedroom. That'd be a nice little bit of extra spending cash. And it started with $50 a night, and then 100, and then 500, and then I'm doing $1,000 in profit a night. And then one night I did $70,000 in revenue in my bedroom, and I'm thinking maybe I should probably take this a little bit more seriously. And that's when I started to hire some employees, which was my sister and my brother and my mom, right? They would all come by the house and help me out. And then it grew even faster in 6 months, and I needed to hire more people. And I thought, I don't know if I trust people in my house. Maybe I should get a shop, right? So I found a space very close to my house on Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles, and took over an existing sports card shop. And we started with one stream, and then we had 2 streams, and now we have 6 streams running on TikTok every single day. It's larger than my wildest dreams, and I just want to keep growing the brand bigger and bigger.
It's absolutely fabulous. So I guess a really tactical question in all of this. how do you keep the supply of product of cards flowing through that you're running 6 streams daily?
So early on, I started to travel. Once the COVID regulations had kind of loosened up with travel, I would fly across the country. There's a card show that I just got back from last week. It's called the Dallas Card Show. Every 60 days, there's shows in California, the Nationals in Chicago. There was these Tampa Bay in Florida, these card shows as well. And I would just travel across the country with my sister and shake hands with everybody who had a booth there, and tons of people across the country are selling sports cards. And that's how I developed some of my relationships both in and out of state, which allowed me to reach out to a number of people when I need to sell product online.
That's fabulous. Part of what interests me about what you're selling, right, is this is in and of itself, trading cards are absolutely, positively, unequivocally not new. Right. These are trade ideas, right? Baseball cards are things our grandparents, maybe even your great grandparents, your great grandfather, more likely, right? Our great grandfathers were playing with almost 100 years ago. And there's this huge resurgence. What do you think what's driving the interest in trading cards in general?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. A card that was manufactured in 1952, a Mickey Mantle card, over 70 years old, last year sold for $12 million. So headlines like that definitely get people's attention. When it gets their attention, they do a little research like I did, right? They start to research. They realize, oh, these cards sell for $100, $500, $10,000. Not everybody looks up the $1 million cards, but there's levels for everybody to enter this market in. Whether it's you only have $100 to enter, there's plenty of $10 cards. Can you buy a $10 card and sell it for 12? Because you could do that until you have $1,000. Then you can start buying $100 cards, right? And then there's other people who they want to buy 10, 20, $30,000 cards and flip them for $2,000 profit, right?
Right.
We set up a table in Dallas this weekend, and a guy came by with a Brock Purdy who plays for the San Francisco 49ers. He's a quarterback. It was a Brock Purdy 1-of-1 card, and he said, "Hey, check this card out." We said, "Oh wow, how much do you want for it?" He said, $80,000. Just casually walking around with it in his pocket. And how many places would you feel comfortable doing that in America or in the world, just walking around with an $80,000 item in your pocket?
Absolutely, almost nowhere, right? That goes against all sense of logic and sanity that we have. Um, and this is in my head, and if it's not relevant for you, just tell me, Lisa. You've gone, you've taken a left turn, and I don't know, I don't want to go there. But right, with crazes that are in play right now, we have the NFTs playing, which are a very abstract thing. Do you think that there's a personal connection with trading cards because they are tangible and you can like literally put it in your back pocket and walk around the show with it on you?
Yeah, this question's been asked to me a number of times over the last couple of years, and I see both perspectives. I think that there's something to be said about owning a physical product that, like you said, you can touch and feel, and it's tangible. You can put it in your pocket, and then there's something else to be said about, well, if the physical asset has a digital asset attached to it, right? And you'll hear this word vaulting a lot, right? But just the quick version of this is, if I have a $10,000 sports card or any item really, and it sits at a vault that is owned by eBay, right? So my $10,000 card is now safe and secure in a vault at eBay's offices. Now I can trade or sell the digital asset, the license to that card, right? So it's a Mickey Mantle $10,000 card. And I say, you know what? I want to sell that card. I put it on the open marketplace and it sells for $11,000. Now I have just sold the rights, the digital asset to that card, but I don't have to ship it now, right? I just got paid. I got paid $11,000. And now that guy owns that physical card who purchased it from me, that guy or gal, right? Now they own that card, but there's no worry about, oh, did it get lost in the mail? Did it get damaged? Right. So having those digital assets doesn't frighten me, and I don't think it should frighten everybody when you understand its utility. And in this case, with physical assets, if you could sell a physical asset without actually having to touch it, that makes your life easier, right? And it also makes the life easier of the person who purchases it, and it eliminates the opportunity for, like we said, theft, damage, loss, right? All of these things.
Right. And that digital asset, it becomes, it's about risk mitigation in the context, the way that you just described it with vaulting, right? So it's really truly protecting the physical asset so that its value is going to continue to grow because you've mitigated the risk of something happening to it. Dappz, as you've been growing the business, I mean, I get from the beginning it was it was for fun, and it grew and your family got involved, right? And it took on momentum. Rapid growth like that is not easy. What are a couple of the challenges that you've faced as you've been scaling to get to the 6 daily streams?
Oh, there's always challenges in business, and as an entrepreneur, you have to be prepared for things to not go the way you planned, right? And I think for me, I had a vision of, okay, my straight line is going to be from A to Z. And really it's like A, Q, P, B, back to D. Like it just goes all over the place. It's never a straight line, and that's okay. It's not supposed to be a straight line. It would be easy if it was a straight line. And I don't think business and I don't think being an entrepreneur are easy in any sense of the word. What I would recommend to anybody who's just starting is you have to try. You have to try something. That's where it starts. So if I never tried to live stream from my bedroom with only 2 or 3 people watching me to get through that 3-hour stream, if I didn't try, then I never would have started, right? So you got to take the first step, you got to try. And then you have to be consistent, right? You have to keep trying, to keep doing whatever it is that you're pursuing. And there's so many different ways to make money or start a business now with the internet. Having the reach that wasn't available to us 20 years ago. Um, Again, I would say that the two main things are you have to start trying and then keep trying.
So I absolutely love that with my clients, right? I talk about it in the terms of, do something. Is doing something is always better than doing nothing, right? We have to try, and each outcome may not be what we expect it to be, but if we learn something from it and we try something different the next time, we're at least moving forward. And so that, especially with an internet-based business, right, is a lot of time and opportunity to adapt to changing market conditions, products that are interesting, what's selling, what's not selling. And behind all of that, of course, there's the technology that you use to drive that forward. But you won't ever get anywhere if you don't start and try. Great, great comment. For you, what's one thing that you've learned on your journey that actually surprised you along the way?
One thing that surprised me along the way is I've been fortunate enough to now deal with some pretty large corporations. Um, I don't want to name drop any, but I'm talking about billion-dollar corporations, right? And when you engage with some of these corporations, you think they've got all their stuff together, everything's wrapped up, and you realize that all businesses are flawed, right? At the highest scale and at the lowest scale. So nobody is perfect. Everybody is trying. Even billion-dollar companies are constantly trying. The reason that they're so successful is that they don't stop. They don't stop trying. So you have a perception of what a business looks like from the outside because you've seen them in commercials or you've seen them in movies or you've seen them online. And then when you meet the tangible business, you realize, oh, wow, these guys go through problems just like me, right? They might be bigger problems. They might be smaller problems. They might be different problems, but problems all the same. And everybody's got to work through problems to figure out solutions.
Absolutely, absolutely, and totally true. And one of the cool things, having worked with those large enterprise billion-dollar those corporations myself, entrepreneurs have a strategic advantage. They can change faster, and they can adapt and do new and try more and try consistently, try more and grow faster, right? It's harder for those big Titanic type ships to turn. And so, yeah, it's a great lesson. Every business has problems, and an entrepreneur is in a better position to adapt and solve problems than large corporations are. They just can't do it in the same speed at the same pace. That's a great observation and a lesson learned during your growth mode. Fantastic. As you stop and think, where do you want Dappz Sports to be 2 years from now, 3 years from now? What does that future vision look like for you?
Well, I think we strive to be one of the biggest live shopping companies online, expanding outside of just sports cards or Pokemon or collectibles, into different verticals, right? Whether it's apparel or whether it's electronics or toys or shoes, whatever different markets we can enter. And, that could look something like we sell those products ourselves, or we partner with other companies to help them sell, right? Because what we are extremely experienced in is setting up live shops, right? We've been doing it for almost 5 years right now, live streaming, making sales online. And I think you'll continue, and your audience will continue to hear the word live shopping over the next 3 to 5 years, because I don't think a lot of people are aware of what live shopping even is yet. And really what it is you're on you're on your phone and you're scrolling through, whether it's TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. And instead of seeing a static ad for a pair of jeans or a pair of sunglasses, you're going to see a live person selling you an item as if you were in the store buying it in person.
This business model is not in and of itself new, right? On television, we've seen live shopping. And like many things, going back to that just a moment ago, right? Those large corporations and their slowness to change, you're in a position to disrupt an existing market because they don't know how to do it. And so I totally can see a future where you have taken live shopping purely into a streaming platform as other mechanisms are slowly dying on the vine in the way that broadcast and cable television exists today won't exist in 5 years. And they failed to adapt. So I am so thrilled to see somebody who's innovative and willing to shake things up and embrace the new model, which is in our live streaming world. Dappz, if people are looking to learn more about you or Dappz Sports, where are the places that they should be looking?
You could pretty much find us anywhere online. TikTok, Dappz Sports, dappzsports.com. YouTube channel is also Dappz Sports. Instagram is Dappz Sports. We, in addition to live shopping, we create a ton of original content. We have an incredible content team based in Los Angeles who are producing pieces of content that are doing millions and millions of views every single week, which is something we're incredibly proud of, because anyone who's been a creative before knows that sometimes you have an idea and sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not great. So working through those processes is part of the fun for me, and part of the fun for our team is, hey, you might have an idea that you put 5 minutes into and it does 1 million views. You might have an idea that you put a week's worth of work and production behind and it flops. So creativity is a very interesting monster, and I'm nowhere near done poking it with a stick.
That's awesome. So in all of that, audience, Dappz shared one of those keys to continuous innovation, right? Everything begins with an idea. Not all ideas are good, and the ones that you think are brilliant often are the ones that stink the most. But if you continuously ideate and test and play with those ideas, you will grow and you will scale your business. Innovation is the foundation for everything. For those of you in the audience, you know the rules. Don't get left behind. Join me next time.
That's it for today's episode of Disrupt and Innovate. Head over to iTunes and subscribe to the show. Every single week, one lucky listener that posts a review on iTunes will win the grand prize drawing, a $15,000 private VIP day with Lisa Levy. And be sure to head over to disruptandinnovate.com and get your free copy of Lisa's gift. And join us on our next episode.